I wanted to ask you about some strategy questions. And I guess I'm speaking for the little people, the kids, on whom RF radiation has never been tested. I think it's important to point that out, that the testing was only done on a facsimile of a 220-pound male. Therefore, we only know if it's safe within a certain proximity of a big guy. So as far as young people, can you talk to me about exploring setback ordinances? Many communities throughout the country have instituted 2,500-foot setback ordinances for any kind of cell facility until such time as it is proven safe for kids, which I'm sure it won't be because it's not ethical to test this sort of thing on a child. And then the other strategy question would be compliance. The Wall Street Journal article in 2014, there was a report that said 1 out of every 10 facilities was out of compliance with the FCC regulations. FCC said, we simply don't have the resources to check all of the towers. So I guess my question is for the legal expert, how do you write in caveats that say until such time as, for the safety, and then for the compliance, can you have them require that the sites are tested daily? I mean, can you set up some barriers that help us keep these away from our homes?
Lisa, all terrific questions. I would ask you if you had a site to what communities have a 2,500-foot setback.
Walnut Creek.
I think my firm actually represents Walnut Creek. We have an office in Walnut Creek, and that's not, my understanding, that's not a broad across the board a setback requirement, but we will look at that and share that with the county. Your second question, again, going back to the RF, again, I can only tell you that the elected leadership of this county has been to the commission and plans to continue to push the commission to get answers for those questions. And to the extent that we can, we'll address it within the powers of the law. I mean, there.
Okay, so let me address, and I'm going to ask again, just to remind people to try not to shout out, because what happens is that we can't pick up the question. The question was about writing in caveats, or can we do that? The issue is that there are some jurisdictions where they have looked and they said they have to be farther from schools, they have to be farther from nursing homes, they have to be farther from these other areas. But in what we were looking at, it also seemed that those were also places where there were a lot of people who wanted to be able to use their devices. So we have not, so we have looked and we are aware of those, but we have not opted to choose those. On the issue of are there other people, I can tell you that besides these people, yes, there are many other people in the county in multiple agencies and zoning who are trying to weigh in on this, and we're trying to figure out all the different permutations of it. I'm going to come, and I want to again ask,
if I could just throw one thing in, just to the question of compliance. That's something that we take very seriously. Every single one of the applications in the sites is reviewed very closely for what is the level of radiation coming out of it, what is the pattern, where does it go, and is it in compliance with the FCC rules? Granted, it's the FCC rules, but in this case, you mentioned 75%. This is 100% as far as the review and the thoroughness on it, and it's one of the things that the county has made sure is very closely watched.
I will also add that following last October's meeting, that we did go out and do site visits to look at the compliance in the field, and those antennas were in compliance, and we can look at finding ways to make that data more available. I'm going to come down in front, and I want to give us a note that we have about 18 minutes. So, and let me say that this is a live television, so we're going to stop at 9 o'clock.